What's up guys, Gabriel Varga here. The other day in the comments, one of my subscribers asked amazing question. Can you be your best version, your best self with one coach your whole career? That is a great question, and I have some super detailed, very important thoughts on that subject. That is what we're talking about today, guys. All right, guys, we're talking about coaches. This is such an interesting topic because for myself, throughout my career, I've had people help me for sure. I've had my brother who's been in my corner, who's traveled around the world with me. I've had Alan Hamilton from Ontario, my buddy Craig McWilliam, who is my pad holder. All these guys have helped me so much. But in the sense of a traditional coach, somebody who's there watching you every training session, who tells you what you're going to do, who dictates the whole structure of your whole camp. I don't have that. So since I don't have that, I think I'm fairly objective here because I've been able, from an outside view, without having a coach, to see what coaches provide, to see if you need them, and whether, if you have one coach, it's important to make switches from gym to gym to get more insight and more knowledge. So before we get the video underway, guys, give the video a like, get subscribed if you have not already, and let's move on. So I want to break down first what you should be looking for in your coach at different stages. And let's talk about the beginning of your fight career, or as you start learning martial arts. You are looking for somebody who can teach you the basics of offense, the basics of defense, who can teach you footwork and help you become more balanced when you're moving around the ring or the cage. You're really just trying to build a structure, build a base so that you can become a more skilled fighter later on when we start getting to the small little details. If at this stage you are already thinking, I'm really not getting all I need from my coach, and maybe in the future I'll have to go and find somebody else, that right there is a great indication that your coach will probably not have the skills to teach you through your whole career. Anybody who owns a gym, anybody who's a decent coach can take you through those basics. When you are learning, you have no need to be thinking, I need to go here, into that gym, into this gym, into that gym, and I need to travel all around town. Find one coach who's really good. My whole career have just looked for who's the best. When I started doing MMA, I asked around, who is the best jiu-jitsu practitioner in town? Not just coach, but somebody who's also competed. That's what I looked for personally. It just so happens that he's an awesome, skilled instructor as well, Matthew Kaiser. But I didn't feel like I need to jump from this gym to that gym to that gym to this gym. Just find the best and stick with that guy initially. And keep in mind that if you find somebody and they're not able to teach you everything, or you get that inkling like, maybe I'm going to have to move somewhere else, right from the get-go, there's probably something wrong they're doing. You're probably picking up bad habits early on. So just start off right and find the best coach in the best gym that you possibly can. Now, moving on from there, let's say we get more to an intermediate level. I would never suggest a beginner go and fight, but when you hit intermediate level, maybe you're thinking, okay, now's the time I want to test myself out. I want to step in the ring or the cage. I want to try a Muay Thai fight, a kickboxing fight, maybe an MMA fight. Again, at this point, if you have a solid coach, you have somebody who can teach you the basics, they're taking you through the mindset of fighting. That's very important. A lot of people don't do that, but I think they should. It shouldn't just be like, here's a punch, here's how you block, okay, let's go fight. There's more to it than that, and everybody requires different care. Some people, when they go in the ring, they're just like, they're okay on their own, just let them do their thing. But other people need a lot of assistance in that process because it can be very overwhelming, very emotional, very scary. So hopefully you right away already have a coach who is doing that extra work to really help you feel comfortable. And again, if at that point, if you're in the intermediate stage of your career, you're like, okay, this guy's taught me the basics really well, but now I'm starting off my fight career and I actually want to go somewhere with it, and I'm feeling like he doesn't really have much to tell me over here. He's great with the basics, but when it comes to fight mentality or competition, there's not really much there that he's helping me with, that he's giving to me. Again, that's a good time to reassess, because maybe the guy's great at basics but he has no experience in the fight world, or maybe he's great at basics and he just doesn't have the emotional ability to share all the information you need to make it to the top. And not everybody needs all that information. I mean, I did a lot of my own climbing through the ranks just based on research. I just researched a bunch of people. I had obviously lots of people in the background who were very supportive. They're like, yeah, you can do this, Gabe, we believe in you. But for the most part, dealing with those emotions, going into fights, even with my brother and I traveling across the world, sometimes on our own, to go and fight somebody when my brother's only experience is in cornering me. He doesn't have experience cornering other other people. It's not like he's some worldwide renowned coach, but still it worked because just for myself, I was able to do a lot of that research on my own, feel very comfortable, not needing somebody to support me emotionally the whole way. I just needed somebody to help me with the technique, help me in the fight if things weren't going right. But keep in mind, you need to really look inside sometimes. You need to look deep and think, what do I need from my coach? And if you are somebody who likes this channel, you like the information I am sharing with you, you think it's important, you haven't heard of it, you go, wow, this is going to make me a better fighter, you might be really well off finding a coach who can share the experiences I'm sharing with you, but actually be there face to face with you when it's fight time. Because as much as I'd love to be there with you guys, I can't be at every fight card around the world helping people out. This is my giving back to everybody through this channel. So again, if you're at that intermediate stage of your fight career and you are thinking, okay, I have the basics down, but the emotional side, the support it takes mentally to get in and compete and win and become a champion, I'm just not getting that, then yes, it may be time to switch gyms and find a new coach. Now let's move on in a fight career and let's assume you are now fighting for titles, whether they're amateur local titles, amateur world titles, you're a professional now, you need a good support system. And hopefully by now, the person that you started with that has brought you up, built your skill level, is still with you. They're still providing you with everything you need. And one of the funny things that I have personally always found with boxing in particular is you see these fighters, they have the same coach for years and years and years, and they're going through their whole careers, 20-0, 21-0, 22-0, they get up to 25-0, 26-0, and then so suddenly a loss, 26-1, and right away they jump ship and they're like, oh my gosh, I need a new coach. And they jump from gym to gym, they have another loss, they switch, new coach, they move somewhere else. And this one for me always blows my mind, and it comes right back to the topic that we're discussing today. Do you need to switch gyms? Do you need to switch coaches to be your best self? Well, what I want to do here is I want to look at what the coach should be providing you at this stage in your career when you're higher up. He's already provided you with the basics. He's built a solid foundation. Now he's provided you with the knowledge you need to become a champion. You've done that. You've climbed up the ranks. Now you're at the elite level. And when you're at the elite level, what are we looking for in a coach? Because really, they're not going to be teaching you anything wild and brand new. At this point, what you should be looking for, what I look for in the people who are with me, is pretty much unconditional support. They are with me. If I need them, they are there. They're supporting me. They believe in me. Number two, and this is a really important one, they're able to help me break down my opponents. They're able to come up with game plans. It's not just show up at the gym, do the work, and that's it. And finally, they are a coach who's not scared to give me criticism. I need criticism. I need to make improvements. They will be very small improvements, very subtle improvements. But, and I talked about this very recently, I was showing a clip of Liam Harrison hitting the pads and just noting that his hand comes down a little bit on his jab before it goes out. And hopefully, if I had a coach, they would be reminding me right away, no, that's not working. You need to make corrections. And yeah, I don't have a coach, but I have all these people around me and they don't mind telling me, they don't mind saying, Gabriel, you're making a mistake, lock it up. Fix it. If you have a coach who's able to do that for you and able in the fight to give you good feedback, they're the kind of person that you need in your corner. They have the energy that you require. Remember, some people want really hectic energy. They really thrive on like, oh, let's do this. It's fight time. Other people like me, they just want calm. I just want somebody in my corner who's calm. When I come back, they're like, okay, let's take a look at what happened that round. And everything's chill, and it doesn't need to be really hectic, really angry, really frantic. That doesn't work for me, so I've surrounded myself with the right group of people. If you're able to find somebody from the beginning of your career that continues to impress you, continues to give you everything I've talked about, I do not think it is necessary to be switching coaches. I do think you can be your best self with one coach, and let me explain why. And this is important. Don't sign off yet, guys. Don't go, okay, he gave the answer, click off. This is the important part of the conversation. I really believe that if you had, let's say, four separate timelines, outside of the reality of this world, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, and you each had a separate coach, that you really shouldn't be too different of a fighter with each coach. If the foundation of what each of them are teaching are very similar, they're teaching you the basics, you master the basics, but I don't think they should change you too much. And the reason why is you are in charge of who you become as a fighter. It's not on your coach to make you the exact fighter you're going to be. It is on you. You need to do the research. You need to watch fights. You need to try stuff out on your own. You need to be able to push yourself. One of my senseis years ago, And this was a great saying. One of my karate instructors, Greg Turnbull in town, lots of respect for him. And he used to say to us when we were in class, essentially, I can't remember exactly, but essentially, it doesn't matter how good you guys get, how much you improve, 95% of the work is done by you. I'm responsible for 5%, only 5%. When you stop and you think about it, and I believe that, if you stop and you think about it, you go, wow, I'm so worried about which coach I have, who's training me, traveling all around throughout my city to find these different coaches who are going to make me better and better. But if you stop and think and go, they're only responsible for about 5% of how good I get. The rest of the 95% is all on me. The effort I put in, the time I take to learn and be dedicated and practice over and over and over. So I'm constantly improving. I truly believe if you have a solid coach who's already taught you the basics, they have the emotional capacity to get you through those early stages. When you get up to the advanced career, they're able to provide you, again, with the type of energy you need in the ring. They're able to help you break down your opponent, create a game plan for them. They're able to give you critique and criticism on small little areas that need improvement. If you have all of that already, everything else, aside from that little 5% that is helping you out there, everything else is on you to improve, to be your best version. Obviously, you won't get to that best version if you have a mediocre coach to start with, but if you have a solid coach, I believe you can do it by sticking with one person your whole career. Being very aware early on that you're finding somebody that is checking all those boxes that you need. This is just my opinion, guys. There will be people who do not agree with me, who say that yes, you definitely should be traveling around gathering information from all sorts of different people. But the lovely thing now with the world that we live in is it is so easy to gather information. It is so easy to learn things from the other side of the world. I went to Thailand back in 2008 for 10 weeks to learn how to clench because I couldn't find anything about clenching. Now, if you want to learn about clenching, you want to learn how to sweep somebody, you can very simply find it on the internet. Although that one particular topic is not as covered as I wish it was. I will definitely be doing videos on how to clench, how to do throws and sweeps. But you guys get the idea. If you want to learn more, the information is out there. Go search for it. Your coach is there to make tweaks as you get higher in your career. Anyway, guys, that was a long-winded answer to a very complicated topic, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give the video a like. If you guys haven't, make sure you get subscribed. As always, guys, train hard, and I'll see you back here soon for another video.